Great. Hello, it's Jackie. Welcome. We're going to do some yoga together today. So if you have a yoga mat or an area where you'll be able to have some room to lie down on the floor, set that up. If you have a blanket or maybe a thicker towel that you can use to pad your knees or your neck when you're lying down, that may be helpful. And then I encourage you to, close the door, turn off your phone, turn off your televisions and devices so that you can take this next 35, 45 minutes for yourself to do a little yoga and to care for your body. So if you get yourself set up, and we're going to start standing up today and begin with a little movement. So you can just start with some little shoulder rolls and notice any tension in your neck. We're all kind of accumulating a little tension in the shoulders and the neck these days. You can just see how you feel. And then you can do some turning. You might even swing a little bit, letting your arms flop around as you turn your head. This nice movement for the rib cage to get a little swing here. And then maybe take each foot, give them a little shake. You could shake your hands, just give everything a little shake, kind of shake off the day. And then we're going to begin to think about our breathing. So we're going to be breathing mostly in and out through the nose during our yoga practice. So take a moment to inhale and just let your arms sweep out to the side and lift them up over your head. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, let your arms float down, let your eyes float down. I'll just repeat that a few times. Inhale as if the breath lifts your arms up. You notice the stretch in the sides, and as if the exhale brings your hands down, eyes down. We'll do that a couple of times. So inhale everything up. And exhale everything down. A couple more breaths like that. Nice opening in-breath, lifting. And a slow exhale. Your eyes might lower down as you exhale. And do that one more time. Inhale up. And exhale down. And today we're going to incorporate some little short pauses into our practice. So stand tall. You could even roll the palms open. And for a moment, soften or close your eyes and just check in. How do you feel? What sensations are you aware of in your body? Where do you notice your breath? And also just noticing how you feel. And we'll continue to pause periodically and check in, see how we're doing. So for the next part of our movement, we're going to come onto hands and knees. So if you do have some padding for your knees, you're welcome to get whatever you need to make your body comfortable. And we're going to come to the tabletop position. So here we're going to let our hands stack up over the shoulders and the hips line up over the knees. Take an in-breath, feel the chest lift, maybe your eyes lift a bit, and on your exhale, pull your belly in. You feel the low back round a little bit, and then fold back, letting the elbows touch down and your hips sink back. And on your inhale, glide back up to tabletop. Feel that little lift of the chest. And then exhale, rounding the back, folding back. And inhale, gliding back up to tabletop. So this time, exhale the same. Round your back as you fold back, and when you rise up on the in-breath, pick up your right leg and lengthen it back behind you. And you can push the heel back and point the toes down. And then exhale, lower that knee down and fold everything back. And then do the left leg. So inhale up, left leg. Again, the toes point down, heel reaches back. Exhale down, fold back. Let's do the right leg again on the inhale. And then let the exhale bring you back, just noticing the two hips, the two sides. And once more, left leg lifts. And come back on the exhale. This time, lift the right leg, and we're going to hold the right leg up in the air. You can make some circles with the ankle, and then bend the knee and make some circles from the hip joint. So we're going to let the knee circle around. So they could be big circles or they could be little circles. Try to keep both arms strong. You can go both ways with your circles. Just see what you feel in that hip. And then lower that knee down to the floor, fold back. Inhale, come up and lift your left leg. Hold it up in the air, some ankle circles. Lift the chest a little perhaps, and then bend the knee. And see what you notice as you circle the left knee around. Maybe 1 or 2 circles in one direction, and then in the other direction. And you might notice any little differences you feel between the 2 hips. And then you can put that knee down and fold back. And then inhale back up to all fours and stand up on your knees for a little bit. So when you're standing up on your knees, again, patting the knees can be helpful. If you can tuck your toes under, nice way to stretch the feet. If you can't do it, that's fine. I'm going to turn to face you. And then like we did when we were standing on our feet, we're going to inhale the arms up over the head. Maybe lift the eyes here. And then exhale the arms down, lower the eyes. A couple more like that. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, lowering down. So this time we're going to add a little twist. So inhale both arms up. On your exhale, bend your elbows like a cactus and turn your chest, your rib cage to one side. You might even turn your head and look back. And then inhale back to the center and lift. And then do it to the other side. Exhale, little turn. Inhale, lift. Exhale the arms all the way down by your sides. And then inhale both arms up, and we'll do the twist to each side again. So exhale, navel draws in. As you turn the shoulders, turn the head. Inhale back to the center, no rushing. Exhale to the other side. Inhale to the center and lift. And then exhale the arms down by your sides. One more time. Inhale both arms up. And again, bend the elbows and turn, just moving with your breath. Draw the navel in. Inhale, center, and lift. Exhale, navel in as you turn. Inhale, center, and lift. Exhale, both arms down. And just 2 more breaths will lift the arms up. Maybe you try this variation. Lift your arms forward and up. If the other way felt better for your shoulders, you can do it the other way. Exhale down. So you can choose arms forward or arms out to the side and up. One more time. And exhale down. And then some shoulder rolls. And then to counter that back bend movement that we just did, we're going to put our hands back down on the floor. And we'll fold back to child's pose a couple of times. So take an inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, pull the belly in and fold back. Hopefully that little stretch for your back feels good. And then inhale back up to all fours. And then draw the navel in and fold back. And then inhale up to all fours. Spread your fingers a little wider. We're going to push up to downward facing dog pose. So tuck your toes under, push up. Maybe you start with a bend in the knees a little bit here. So the hands can push down into the mat. The hips can lift up. And then gently pedal the legs. So one leg straightens, one knee bends. You can alternate that movement. Keep breathing deeply. If you feel like you're ready to rest, you can come down to child's pose. You put your knees down and rest your head. If you want to stay up here a little bit longer, you can hold a couple more breaths. And if you're still holding the pose, when you get to your next inhale, go ahead and put your knees down, and we'll all come to child's pose. So when you come down, you can be on your elbows, that's fine. You could stack up some fists and support your head, or maybe your head comes all the way down to the floor and rocking a little bit. And now another chance to take a few breaths, to notice these little pauses. So notice the sensations in your body, notice your breath. Notice how it feels to be in this kind of curled up position. And then please come up, and we're going to try to do a low lunge. So the first way you could come into that position is to just step your right foot forward, or you could stand back up on your knees and step the right foot forward up between your hands. So in this position and all the positions where the knee is bent, we want that knee joint over the heel. So if you drop into that lunge and your knee comes out over your toes, that's not great. So you can step your foot out a little wider or bend your knee a little less. So you can rest your hands on your legs, a little balance here. Inhale, shift your hips forward, feel the lift in your chest. Exhale through your nose as you pull back. Do that again. Inhale forward, lift the chest a little. Exhale, pull back. Now we're going to add the arms. So as you shift your hips forward and lift your chest, also lift your arms up. You may find looking at the floor really helpful here. Exhale, lower your arms, lower your eyes. And again, inhale. Exhale. I'm going to do that one more time. Any amount that you're moving is fine. Inhale. Make sure that back knee is comfortable. Exhale. You could add some extra padding. We're going to add a little twist this time. So on the inhale, let both arms go up, and you're going to turn to the right as you lower your arms down, and let your hands just sweep down and peek over that back shoulder. And then inhale forward. See how it affects your balance to turn your head like that. So exhale, pull back, sweep the arms down to the right. Inhale, back up. Do that once more. You're pulling your hips back and lowering the arms. And then I'll show you another variation. You can keep doing this one if you like, or inhale up. Let the palms touch, and as you exhale, tuck your elbow over toward your front knee. And then see if you can inhale back up from there. Again, a little challenge to your balance. So you can do the first option with straight arms, or you can tuck your elbows in, take a little bow. One more time. Inhale. And then back to the center. Exhale. Exhale into the twist, and then inhale back up. Okay, and this time, now just lower your arms down. And somehow get back onto your hands and knees. So just walking that foot out to the side can be a nice, easy way to do it. Come onto all fours. Exhale, round back to child's pose. So we'll do some even, symmetrical movements after that little lunge. Inhale up. What do you notice about your two hips? Inhale up, and this time we're going to open up the front of the hips. So exhale back the same. Pull your belly and fold back, and walk your hands out further forward, maybe even a little wider. And on your inhale, as you shift your, come up, let your hips shift forward a bit. Try bending the elbows here so your shoulders stay down. And then exhale back. We call this upward dog. So you can just watch your pets, your cats and your dogs, and you can do all the movements they do. It's a little stretch for the hips. Don't hurt your back. Exhale back. And one more time like that. Just opening up that bend in the elbows. Nice to keep the shoulders down. And then fold back and child's pose again. So we'll take a couple of breaths to rest and to check in. So what sensations do you notice? So the lunges are interesting movements. They do, there's things happening in both hips, but different things are happening on the two sides. So just see what you're noticing about the right and the left hip. And then please come back up. And again, you can just step the left foot forward, or you can come up to your knees and left foot forward. I'm just going to turn around so you can see my left knee. So I'm going to step my left foot forward. I'm just going to check again that when I come forward, my knee is over my heel. So right now, it looks like I need to step my foot a little bit further forward so I keep that knee joint over the heel. So a test, kind of a test bend. So bend the knee, lift the chest, see what you feel. Exhale, straighten the leg, pull the belly in. And do that again. Inhale, lifting, and on the exhale, we just let the hips rock back. So this time we're going to add the arms. Again, looking at the floor can help with your balance here. Try not to let that knee fall out to the side. Try to keep that foot grounded down. So as you inhale, let the hips shift forward, let the arms lift up. And on the exhale, lower your arms and your eyes. Pull your belly in. And again, the breath moving, the body moving slowly and smoothly. So one more time, that simple inhale, the arms go up. and exhale. So now we'll add the little twist with the straight arms. So bend the knee, lift the arms, and as you exhale, the arms float down to the left, the hips sink back, and you can look over that back shoulder. And then inhale, the arms float up. Again, exhale, sinking, the hips sink back and the arms float down, and then inhale. So we'll do this one more time. Exhale. And then inhale, and then again, you can do that version again, or you can let your palms come together, let the right elbow kind of hook over that front leg, and then how smoothly can you rise back up? So the challenge here is to come back up. So coming down smoothly, a little squeeze in the belly, then inhale back up. And one more time, exhale. Inhale. And this exhale, you can just bring your arms down, and then again, make your way onto hands and knees. So, and if it's helpful for you, you can kind of sweep that leg out to the side. So come back down to all fours, exhale your hips back. Inhale up to tabletop, maybe the chest lifts a little. Exhale, the belly draws in, the back rounds as you sink back. And rising up again to tabletop. And now we'll do the other movement with the hips. So exhale back and walk your hands further forward and wider. And on your inhale as you come up, just see how far you want to let your hips shift forward. Bend the elbows a little bit, shoulders down. And then exhale back. And we'll do that 2 more times, unless it just doesn't feel great for your back. So you could come forward just a little bit and pause, or maybe it's a nice way. You don't have to push, but just go till you find a nice stretch. Exhale back. Just watch how your cats and dogs do it. One more time, coming forward. Good. And then exhale back. And again, we'll rest in child's pose. So come down. You could be on your elbows. You could have your knees a little wider. You could stack your hands up to support your head. You can sway. Maybe close the eyes. And notice the sensations in the body. Notice your breath. Another moment to just check in. And then please push yourself back up to tabletop, all fours. We're going to come to the downward facing dog pose again for a few breaths. So tucking the toes under, push up. Pedal out your legs if you like, or maybe you just hold the pose. Again, a slight bend in the knees is kind of a nice way to lengthen the spine, especially if your hamstrings are a little tight. That bend in the knees will really help you get into your back. So a few more breaths here. When we come out of the pose this time, we're going to stand up. So if you are already ready to come out of the pose, you can go ahead and come up. And if you want to hold for a couple more breaths, you can. And then if you haven't already, go ahead and make your way up to stand on your feet. And if you did have padding under your knees, you can move that off to the side. And once you get up to standing, do some shoulder circles. Take a moment to stand tall and notice how you feel. And then at the beginning, we did some lifting of the arms. So we're going to do that again, but we're going to add another element. So as you inhale, just like we did at the beginning, just let your arms go up over your head and see what you notice. And as you exhale, lower the arms, lower the eyes. And this time, as we lift the arms up, we're going to come up onto the toes. We're going to lift the heels up off of the floor. So inhale your arms up, let your heels lift up any amount. You're going to feel your legs quiver a bit. And on the exhale, let your hands come down, your heels lower slowly so that the heels touch as your hands touch your legs. Do that again. Inhale. And the heels can lift up a lot or maybe not so much. And then exhale down. Feel the work of your big quadricep muscles. So inhale, let the heels float up. Now this time, exhale halfway down with your heels and do that little cactus arm twist again like we did on our knees. And then inhale back to the center. Lift your heels as the hands float back up. And then heels halfway down. Do your twist to the other side. Inhale back to the center, and then exhale all the way down with your heels and your hands. This is sometimes called a moving mountain. So this standing pose is called mountain pose. So this is moving mountain. So inhale up. Okay, so exhale the little turn. Cactus arms halfway down, turn your chest. Halfway down with your heels, that is. And then inhale back to the center. Lift your heels back up. And then exhale to the other side. Feel your legs quivering. Inhale back to the center. Good. Face the center and exhale halfway down. Inhale back up, and then just see if you can stay up here a little bit longer. So you could have your heels just a tiny bit off the floor, or if you want to challenge yourself, try swaying like a tree in the wind. So swaying with your arms or the upper body, so you kind of lose your balance and you have to work a little bit to stay up. Moving the hips can also make the balance challenged. So please inhale, lift up a little more, and then exhale everything down smoothly, and then give things a little shake. You can shake, but particularly your feet. Works your ankles and your toes. And then take a pause to just notice the sensations in the body after you did that movement. And then we're going to do a little chair pose, some variations of the chair pose. So we're going to have the feet about shoulder width apart for this movement. So, a little bit of width. I'm going to turn to face the side so you can see my back. And I'm going to step my feet out to the edges of my mat. That feels like a good width for me, but wider than your shoulders a little bit. Take your hands to your hips. Take an in-breath. And on your exhale, pull your belly in and sink your hips back so the knees bend and the upper body is just going to lean forward. And then on the inhale, we're going to slide back up. Again, we keep using these big leg muscles. So exhale down into almost like a squat. Keep your knees, your hips go back so your knees don't go forward. Inhale back up. So this one we're going to hold one breath and we're going to incorporate those cactus arms again. So exhale down, not too far. And when you inhale, keep your knees bent, lift your chest and your cactus arms. On the exhale, lower your arms back down to touch your legs. Pull your belly in. And then stand back up and just slide your hands up your legs. Next time we're going to hold 3 breaths like that. So exhale, bend your knees, take a bow. Inhale, cactus arms, lift halfway up. Exhale, take your hands back down. Again, inhale, lift your chest. Don't hurt your back, but you might feel some work back here. Exhale your arms down. And then stand back up on your in-breath. Step your feet back in. Give things a little shake. And then we'll swing, this time with the feet wide. So you can let your feet be about shoulder width apart and let your arms swing. Good. And then the pause again. So what are you feeling? What do you notice about your body? You could even close your eyes for a moment. So we use this skill of interoception. So we notice how we feel. So how do you feel in your physical body, but also how do you feel? So it's always good to take a little time to be aware. So for the next part, we're going to lie down on our back, and I'm going to suggest a little squat on the way down. So the first option for your squat is to come down into that. I'm turning the toes out, and you could just come down into like a sumo wrestler squat, and you could just stay here, kind of rock your hips. So if you have knee issues or ankle issues, even things in your hips, this might be a good option. The second option would be to squat all the way down. So if you want to let your hips drop down, you can snuggle your elbows in between your legs, try to push the legs apart, and then can you draw the palms toward the center of your chest. So the hips are sinking down as the spine lengthens up. A couple of breaths here. Nice to stretch out the soles of the feet after standing on our tiptoes. So maybe another breath here. It's fine if you're already lying down on your back. So if you haven't already, come to lie on your back. And once you're lying on your back, you can pull your knees into your chest and circle your ankles a little bit. Go both ways with your circles. Maybe give them a little shake. You can shake your hands too. So just a little swaying on your back. So first time to lie on our back today. You can see how that feels. And then if you hold on to the right leg and stretch your left leg out onto the floor. So at the beginning when we were on hands and knees, we made some circles from the right hip. So we're going to do it again while we're lying here on the floor. So you can do some hip circles. So they might be kind of small, where your knee might go way over to the other side and that right hip roll up. So see what's good for you. You can change the direction of your circles, go all the way around, see what you feel. Just be curious about your right hip. And then hold on to that knee again with your hands. You can just give it a little squeeze and see what you feel. And we're going to do a little twisting movement. So if you can keep holding that bent knee with your opposite hand, that should be your left hand, and let your right arm just stretch out onto the floor so that shoulder and the hand is on the floor. Take an in-breath, and on your exhale, we're going to take 3 breaths to work our way over. So just start with the first exhale, go over a few inches, and then pause on your inhale. And on your exhale, go over a little more. So you might only go a couple of inches. You might let that hip lift up. See what's appropriate. Another inhale. And then exhale over a little further till you find a spot that's pretty interesting stretch. And your right shoulder is still pretty much on the floor. And you're breathing. Now, it takes a little extra effort to breathe deeply when you're in a little twist. You may be touching your hand, your leg with your left hand, but try not to pull with that hand. So I'm just kind of using it as a light guide. I'm not pulling with my hand. I'm doing the work with my leg and the abdominal muscles. Another breath or two. And then when you get to an inhale, come back onto your back. And the first option is to just put your feet on the floor and rest for a moment with the knees bent. The second option would be to lie flat with your legs stretched out. So both are nice. Some people lying flat's not so great, so bent knees are fine. Try to scoot things around your hips and your shoulders so they feel even. And then if you did have your legs stretched out flat, go ahead and bend the knees, and we're going to pull both knees into the chest and just massage your back by rocking. And then hold on to the left leg this time. Stretch the right one out onto the floor. So start with some rocking, and then we're going to make hip circles from the left hip joint. So go around, see what's good for you. So depending on what's happening in your left hip, the movement might be small, or you might be, again, rolling all the way over onto your right hip. So see what you feel. What range of movement feels good for your left hip? Make sure you go both directions with your circles. You can kick the foot around a little bit if you like. And then come onto your back, give that left knee a hug. We're going to keep holding that bent knee with the opposite hand and let the left arm stretch out to the side. And again, we're going to take 3 breaths to work our way over. So take a big inhale, and on your exhale, just start to guide the knee over. Remember, try not to pull with your hand. Just go over a little bit, and then hold on your in-breath. And on the exhale, go a little further. Try not to pull with your right hand. It's harder with the right hand because we just want to pull with that right hand. Take another inhale. And on the exhale, go to a spot where you can hold. So it's fine if your left hip is still on the floor. You might notice if your left shoulder is still on the floor, and if it's way up in the air, you might try to back off a little bit so that your head and your shoulders pretty relaxed. And then again, a few breaths, but not pulling with your right hand. Remember, a little extra effort to breathe deeply when you're twisted, especially this knee is kind of pulled up and it's pressing on the abdomen. So maybe you go just a little deeper. Maybe you back off a little bit. And then when you get to your next inhale, slowly come back onto your back. And again, you're welcome to lie flat if you like, or bend the knees. And take a moment to situate your shoulders and your hips so everything feels even. Now, a pause. So if your legs are stretched out flat, bend your knees. And walk your feet out a little bit wider. You may find it really nice to have the knees touching. And rest your hands on your belly, and if you're comfortable closing your eyes, just close your eyes for a moment. Notice the sensations. And then we're going to do a couple of little symmetrical movements after our twist. So draw both knees into your chest. Inhale and just straighten both legs toward the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees. You might pull them towards your belly. Inhale, straighten the legs. Spread your toes, lift the heels up. Exhale, bend the knees. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Now you could keep doing that, and you could also lift your arms up over your head to the floor behind you at the same time. And as you exhale, bend the knees and lower your arms. We'll do that a couple more times. So either just the legs up or the legs and the arms up, or you could just do the arms if your legs are getting tired. Exhale. Always just giving yourself options so that you're taking care of your body. Inhale. Exhale down, and then again you can lower your feet down. You may enjoy having the feet a little bit wide and the knees touching, and then just take your hands and wrap them around your shoulders and give yourself a hug. And you can sway here to massage your upper back. You can pat yourself on the back. Good job. And then take a moment again to check in. So we call this the introspective pause. So what do you notice about your body? And we're going to begin to shift toward the relaxation part, the Shavasana, relaxation pose. So for this part, we want the body to be comfortable. That's the main goal, to be comfortable. So if you're comfortable lying flat on the floor, that's fine. You can stretch your legs out flat. If it's better to have your knees bent, keep your knees bent, or grab a blanket or a cushion to put under your knees. Maybe you like having the hands touching. Maybe that's comforting. Maybe you're a little chilly and you'd like to put on a blanket on top of you or some extra clothing. You could put your hands by your sides with the palms up, also a nice open position. So take a few breaths to get settled. See what feels best for you. Begin to let go of any effort to breathe any particular way. Just let your body breathe on its own. And enjoy the support of the floor and the things that you're lying on. And let go. So I encourage you to rest here for 5 minutes, even 10 minutes. Just allowing your body to rest, nothing to do, nothing at all to do, but just be still. As you settle in, I'll close this part with a little message, a little prayer. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy, and may we all live with ease. So again, I encourage you to stay, to continue to rest for 5 or 10 minutes in this position. If you're not sure about minutes, you could try counting 12 breaths. That's always a good little technique. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.